Steve Jensen from the National Sales Academy and Impact Training Corporation. Now, thank you for joining me today on our Golden Nugget mini workshop series. Now, at the moment, we're talking about Super Closer. This is Super Closer number 2. And for those of you that haven't joined us before, we're doing a mini series of small workshops to help you absolutely take back some of the golden nuggets of sales and make a difference to your business. So in this presentation today, what we're going to do is cover the price presentation. I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever got to the stage where sometimes in your sale, you've come to the price presentation and you feel a little bit stilted? It's become a little bit hard, and then it becomes all too difficult, and it creates an objection, and they say at the end of it, "Wow, thank you so much, I have to take it away and think about it." It becomes so logical that the person almost has to say, "I have to think about it, shop around, talk to my wife." This is because our closing sequence hasn't been smooth, and it's actually been done in a way which creates objection. So I want to go through with you some of the skill sets that'll absolutely blow that away. Okay, now the first thing that we have to just reiterate is the number one criteria to make sure that any closing sequence works is that you have a lot of rapport and the person likes and trusts you. Now, let's not overcook the egg and we overdo the presentation, but let's make sure that we have a number of things in place. We have rapport, empathy, and the person likes and trusts you. You're not talking out of sync, you're not talking out of context, you're not being pretending, or you're not pretending to be nice. What you're doing is you're really genuinely speaking to the person and trying to help them make a great decision. Now, remember we spoke about this before, and if you haven't heard this before, listen closely. Specificity makes things real. The more specific the dialogue about what they are talking about and use their words, and then make sure that your product or service has fitted in to the solution process, then guess what? You are more than likely going to have the person buy. So many salespeople, please write this down, so many salespeople present their product and price far too early. Now, and another time we'll go through an explanation, demonstration of how to present product and services. But today's about closing. But really, at the end of the day, we should have already got the person almost compelled to buy because of the specific nature of your conversation. Now let's move into the dynamics of a close. We know that the person has come to you wanting to buy a product or service. That they're going to be wanting help. So hopefully you've created a compelling reason to want to buy. Now let's just make sure we understand the dynamics of a price presentation. The price presentation ideally should be done in a visual format as well as an auditory format. A lot of salespeople actually just write it down and give it to them. And when they take it away, they have to think about it, don't they? And some people just tell them and the person tries to remember it and is all confused. What I'm going to suggest you do is in your price presentation, you write and talk it. If you write and speak at the same time, they'll more than likely get it. Now, if you understand the dynamics of the brain again, we understand that the left side of the brain usually pulls out things from the past. And we know that over 80% of people's future is to the right. So when we do a price presentation, and what I'm going to suggest you use is a T-graph price presentation. A T-graph price presentation is a very simple way of presenting nearly 70, 80, 85% of all products and services using a alternative choice close. Which means it's not do you want A and asking for a decision. It's do you want A or would it prefer B? Or it could be a way of investing. It should be an alternative choice of something. It could be one car, but a couple of ways of making sure the investment takes place. It could be self-financed or through the bank. Let's make sure that we understand the left side of the brain is usually from the past and the right side of the brain is for the future. So when you do your T-graph price presentation, you normally put what the consumer wants and told you that they wanted on the right. Now, there's lots of things that we need to do here, but this is just the basic fundamentals of a price presentation. Now, this is what a T-graph looks like. You might put the name at the top there. You'll have a name of the product or service, and then you might have the amount of money. You then say the word alternatively, moving to the right-hand side. Have another name, and then amount of money. Now, let me just change this for a moment. You might have a product at the very top. You might have a way of investing. And then another way of investing. Instead of having amount, that might be way. Now, once you've actually asked them for a choice here, of the two, which one of the names are you leaning more towards? Is it name A or is it name B? Now's the time to actually have silence. The silence will let the person think. Sometimes salespeople think they need to talk here. No, quieten it down. Let them make a decision. The next person that talks usually owns the product or service. And by the way, if they make little passing comments, don't think it's an objection. Just let them talk to themselves. Many people do talk out loud. Now, when they actually come to a conclusion, you need to know when to close. You need to be able to ask. Now, closing is simple. You need to have a sequence of words which are really simple. Here's an example of the words. Of the two, which one are you leaning more towards? Is it name A or is it name B? Listen to this. The person may be saying, I think I'm doing name B. You'll say, oh, great, so it's name B, is it? Oh, yes, look, I would have done the same. Here it is. Well, all we have to do now is a little bit of paperwork. How do you want to take care of that, Steve? Is it going to be savings or credit? Now, that's if someone was going to be paying you any money with savings or credit, obviously. If the person was not going to pay you any denominations and just going to complete an order form with a direct debit form or whatever, or with a contract, you'd say, well, all we have to do now is a little bit of paperwork. All right, so I'll take care of that now, and let's get you away from whatever challenge they had and into some pleasure. At the end of every closing sequence, I'm going to recommend something. This is called wagging the tail. This is a nugget and a half. If you say, are you excited about that? Are you looking forward to the changes? Are you looking forward to moving in, or whatever it may be? And the person goes into the green brain, the emotional response, the probability of getting an objection is substantially lowered. I hope you've enjoyed second part of Super Closer. Lots to come. We've got part 3 coming up shortly. So hopefully I'll see you then. All right, thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you then.